Hello, hello, people. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody tonight. I'm just getting a few more things set up here. Hello, hi, Deborah. Oh, you're welcome. Hey, Vern, good to see you. Hi from Illinois. Love that. Yes, I have some water. I'm going to need that. It's important to stay hydrated. Okay. Ooh, boy, that was my knee that just popped there. Hello from Wisconsin. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome. Oh, from Iowa. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Marcia, hello. Welcome. Welcome on in, everybody. Looks like we got some beauty shop schedules. Ah, yes. You got it. Ohio. Love that. Hi, Greg. Good to see you, as always. Yes, so tonight I will be taking you through the trial schedules and everything that's scheduled. So I put everything together in one place so we can do some screenshots and kind of talk about things and go through it. So hopefully it'll be good. Happy Thursday to you too, Tosh. And Angie, hello from Indiana. Love that. New Jersey. Love it, love it. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday. Is it Thursday? I'm just checking. Oh, from Australia. Good morning. Oh my gosh. Arkansas. Sorry for you. You know, Scott, there's so many governors out there. It's okay. It's okay. I can pencil you in for a trim. Yes, very busy schedule. I am just like... It's Friday in Australia. Oh, that's right, because it's morning for you. Well, happy Friday. Yay. Greetings from the Bronx. Hello. Good to see you. Hello, Rack. Good to see you. Steffi, you're back again. Love that. Yes, it is. The trial calendar is just enormous. It's a busy time. It's a busy time. Jack is a busy man. They're busy in Georgia. There's just a lot going on. It's hard to keep it all straight. From Oklahoma, I love that. Wonderful. Washington State. Oh my gosh. Is it Thursday yet on another show? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you have the the judge opinion regarding the... No, I didn't. Oh, Wisconsin, another Wisconsin. Yeah, I can't imagine the judges any of them are feeling okay about any of these cases. There's a lot going on in these cases. Hello, Hawk. Oh, from Ohio. From Minnesota. Love that. Love it. Fabulous. New Jersey. Can you find well, I can't, but you can always, write some letters. I'm a big fan of the old-fashioned letter, option. I'm always talking about writing people letters. Neil, love your lives. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hello from Boston. Well, welcome, Sunny. Good to see you. I'll find out who the judge was and let you know. Oh, sounds great. I'd love to know. That would be very interesting. Very interesting indeed. From Michigan. Hello. Good to see you, Jennifer. Love that. Yeah, there's been a lot that's been going on in all of these cases. I think we're going to have to pace ourselves so we don't get too burned out on it. Ola from Texas. Ola. What time is it there? It's midnight here. Oh, it's 6 o'clock my time, 6 p.m. Midnight there. Yes. Oh, I'm so thankful you can join us, though, Deborah, for whatever amount of time. It's always wonderful to have you. Always wonderful. Hi from Texas. Hello, hello. Very good to see you. Glad to hear it. 4 p.m. in San Francisco. All right, sounds good. Illinois. Oh, Western Australia. Oh no, are we lagging? Yeah, 6 p.m. for everyone else. Yeah, 6 p.m. Central Time. I'm right in the middle, so right in the middle. From Maine? Oh, I love that. Southern California. Oh, from all over. Yes, I've got the mood ring on tonight. We're going to be flipping through a lot of different documents, so night owl, so all's good. Okay, as long as you've got your cuppa, you're doing all right. Just make sure you stay warm. It's cold. Hey, from New York. Hello, good to see you, Adrian. Atlanta, West Virginia. Oh my gosh, Connie, welcome. Another Texan, Bill, love that. Welcome. Always good to see everybody. Yes, this one, I got this in a little shop that, I have a couple of mood rings, but this one I got this in like, what's it called? Like a worldly shop where you go in and you can purchase goods made from other parts of the world and it like donates to different places. So, oh, thank you. Yes, I've pretty laid back on the mani tonight. I have a natural nail polish. And so I just was like, I'll just put it on. Yeah, like a fair trade shop. Thanks, Casey. That's exactly right. Yep, that's exactly right. Oh, from Florida. Hello. Well, Jojo, it's an ongoing battle. It's an ongoing battle for sure. It is. Yeah, it is a mood ring. But it's a pretty one. This one has been turned out to be one of my favorites for sure. Where do you find the time to change your nails? It really doesn't take too long. It only takes a few minutes. And honestly, I think everyone could sit down with a cup of tea and do your nails. And it would be good. It would be good for everyone to kind of relax for a few minutes. But it also keeps me off my phone, which I think is good too during that period of time. So it's kind of like my time out before I go on. How are you doing tonight? I'm doing pretty great. Thank you, Scott. Good to see you. Yes. I think, I just sitting down and taking care of yourself for a few minutes, I think is something we all should do. So I think it's important. A quick change or simple polish isn't too... Oh, yeah. This is just a very simple nail polish that I've got. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. I just put... this is it here. What's it called? Ella? Yep. So just a coat of this and let it dry and think about happy things for a few minutes. It works out. It's nice. It's a little break from things. Yes, that's a full afternoon, VC. You got it. I do have a cuticle oil that I use before I go to sleep at night, but if I remember, it's kind of, again, it's a good treat to yourself to remember. It brings you back to the here and now. Hello, Convict. Good to see you again. Yes, happy thoughts. We all need time for happy thoughts, don't we? I think so. I think that's important. Yikes. Lollipops gave me the idea of trying to use lollipops not to smoke. Yes. Oh, Angela. Yeah. I had several tricks I used when I was quitting. One of them was, of course, lollipops. But another one was I had read an article that said craving only lasts 3 minutes. So if you can make it 3 minutes without picking up, something to smoke, you'll be okay. So I would always find a toy to open, like a blind bag, and I would spend 3 minutes on that, or I'd color, do something like that. But I would set a timer for 3 minutes. And then when it was over, I was like, what was I doing this for? And then I go back about my business. And it's true. It really helped. It helped me at least. So you got to kind of figure out the tricks, what works for you. But it's important. I mean, I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do with their lives, but it makes a difference. I will Definitely the 3-minute rule is how you quit. Really? Oh, Deanna, I love that. I love that. Yes. Oh, Zyban. Okay. Love that. Yeah. I mean, it's just everybody's you gotta do what's best for you. But if that's something you're wanting to do, there's definitely a lot of good ways to go about it. Oh, Renee, did I miss your comment? Oh no. Oh no. Yes. Oh no. Let me see. I can go back here. I'll try coloring. Yeah. I mean, you keep your hands busy for a few minutes just to keep your focus on something else. Sometimes that can help. But it's hard. It's hard. Do you get commentary by? Yes, I do, Jojo. I get all kinds of commentary. I get all kinds. So yes, this is the trial calendar. I wanted to take everybody kind of through what's going to be going on over the next few months for all of the trials. I've put them together into one giant batch. You just quit. It's been a month. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. Good for you. Love that. Love that. So I do want to go through and just let everybody know kind of when things are coming up, but also I took some time because the Georgia case is such a mess. It's hard to keep track because there's so many people. So I put together a list of all of the motions and all of the hearings that have been done in Georgia. And so I wanted to take everybody through that too, because there's so many different people involved. And there's probably a lot of motions in here that a lot of people didn't even know we had. Especially this Floyd character who has done multiple motions asking for transcripts, general election materials. So I think a lot of these motions have kind of slipped by us. So I thought I could take us through the Georgia docket as well. It looks like a lot just because I've color coded it, but it's really not. It's really not that much. But I think once we take a look at all of the different motions that have been filed, it'll kind of make a little bit more sense about what everybody's doing and stuff. So it was helpful for me. I was losing track because there were so many people that were filing for removals. We had speedies being filed. We had the courts ruling. We have a court of appeals in here. Supreme Court, 11th Circuit. I mean, there's so much going on with the Georgia case. It's hard to really figure it out. So this would look great in a Word document. True story. True story. I'm pretty old school. I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but I'm pretty old school. Oh, you won't be here on the 25th. Okay, let me write it down. Let me write it down. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. Oh, it's so expensive. It's so expensive. Okay, so here we go. Floyd has proven to be highly picky and kind of annoying. Yeah, I had no idea what. Yeah, I mean, this is Floyd right here, and he's requesting election results. He's requesting, a special kind of indictment. So I don't know who his attorney is, but his attorney is filing a lot of interesting things. And what I've noticed too is that a lot of Trump's filings are just to go in on everybody else's filings. So like Powell and Cheesebro have done a whole bunch of filings. And so like half of Trump's filings have been, and I also want to join on everybody else's filings. So I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting to just kind of hop on somebody else's train of motions. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. No, that's funny. It's okay, Snappy. Anytime. It's always fun to see the cowboy hat come out. But tonight, I think it's going to be really helpful to be able to see all the different characters. Because the only people that I haven't seen file anything have been Lee, Hampton, and Smith. Other than that, every other person here has filed something in some way in the Georgia case. And it's just a mess. So savingly, yeah, I mean, it's a mess. What's happening on the 25th? Okay, so let's get into this. We've got this is for September, so we're already sitting on this past week. Oh no, the elephant's gone. Oh, I'm sorry, I took him away. That's so sad. But so let me walk you through what we've got. So on the 20th, so of course today is the 21st, so this is us here today. I feel bad about the elephant. Could skip the due process and go straight. Yeah, the due process bit. We got to have that. All right. So anything in green is for Georgia, just so you know. So yesterday we had the government's motion for jury discovery. We had cheese and crackers involved with discovery. We had. I'm sorry. That's incorrect. Cheese and crackers. I apologize. Cheeseboro and Powell had their discovery that was needed yesterday. That was due yesterday. Sorry about that. Cheese and crackers. Yeah, sorry. I totally forget when I'm doing stuff. I just have their, oh no, I keep moving it too quickly. Oh, sorry about that. I'll put them back on here in a minute. So they had their discovery yesterday. Then we had the removal for Schaefer, Latham, and Still. So let's take a minute. I'm bringing it back. I got to give you all warnings now here. So I've got Still. We've got Schaefer. There's Latham here. There's Still, and there's Schaefer. So these three have kind of gone down their own road too. Ooh, the mic is wonky. Oh no. Hold on. Let me see. How's that? Is that better? Ooh, that's weird. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Okay. Mic issues. How about now? Is it still, that's better? Okay. Yeah, let me just, there we go. That should be better. Thanks. I'm glad you told me. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so these three, right? So these three, the fake electors, right, which we kind of talked about before that were at the Republican meeting, they're kind of getting batched together. Sure. Yeah, I will. Let me go ahead and pull the camera up a little bit here, okay? So we can get the full picture. Dun. There we go. Is that it? Did I get the full picture? Am I in? Almost? Here we go. One more time. Okay, there we go. How's that? Yay, we made it. Okay, so here's the full picture. The elephant is absolutely the winner for sure. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it is a really big picture. It's a lot. So we've got all different kinds of things that have been set for trial and various other things. But these three, like I said, Still, Latham, and Schaefer, those are the big ones that have a lot of filings together. So we're going to kind of keep them together. Oh, it doesn't quite work when it's so big. All right, I got to zoom back in, everybody. I'll zoom back out again in a little bit. Have to work here with the with what we've got. Here we go. I will try to get most of the calendar in though. Let me see if I can get the calendar in. There we go. Have I gotten is the calendar in? Yes, I'm trying. It looks like the calendar is completely in the screen frame for me. Okay. But I'm not sure. Okay. Oh, thank you for telling me. Okay. So, all right. So this is today. So today or tomorrow, Friday in Florida is the motion to extend the CISA. And that's the Florida case, right? We've got special rules regarding the CISA requirements. All of those are due then tomorrow if they need an extension on that time. And what's important to note are a lot of the New York civil things are coming into play right now. Right now is close enough. Thanks. The New York pretrial motions are due for the New York civil case, which is coming up in like less than 2 weeks. Yes, I'm going to try to be here tomorrow for sure. I'm going to try. Yeah, that's the Confidential Information Act. Those are the laws that are governing how the classified information is going to be able to be shared with the jury. So they have to have special proceedings in order to allow the jurors to see the actual documents. So those special proceedings are all going to be set in the Florida case. So, right. So this is the civil New York case. So that's for this week. Next week, we've got in DC, the defendant's opposition to the government's gag order. So remember, we went and we talked about the gag order a few days ago that the government had wanted. Now, the response by Trump is due on Monday. So that's what this date is here in the DC case. I'm not sure exactly what their status is going to be, Blue Jean. That's a great question. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do that. I think that's part of what's going on is they're trying to figure out the proper procedure for what will happen. I think they're going to redact certain pieces of it, but I'm not sure exactly what's happening. A lot of clearance, though, needs to be made. A lot of extra clearances need to be given out for specific pieces of information. So that the defendant's opposition is due then on the 25th. Then in Georgia, we have the government's response to Meadows's appeal, right? So we know Meadows had his appeal on his removal. Now the government's response is due on Monday. That's another thing. And then we have in Florida, supplemental briefs are due. If supplemental briefs are needed regarding any of these motions on that Classified Information Act special hearings that they're having, the briefs will be then due on the Monday. I know, John, I know. What can I say? Why does it say cheese and crackers in yellow? Sorry. That's my bad. Okay, so all right, so Cheesebro and Powell have their own special set. Now, they've got their own schedule. So I kind of highlighted them. I became more professional later on here, but for some reason, it just makes me laugh. And sometimes we need to laugh. So anyway, they're coming up. Yeah, so Tuesday, Tuesday the 26th is the New York civil case. We've got initial objections to any of the evidence and disclosures doing, and they're preparing for trial. So trial's coming up. So that's what's going on in the New York case. Then Wednesday, again, very unprofessional of me, but all motions that are not motions in limine are due according to the trial schedule for Powell and Cheesebro. So their special track, their speedy track is set on Wednesday here. They need to have those motions in. And then the final pretrial conference for the New York civil case is also set for Wednesday, the 27th. Okay, so we had the government's response to Meadows's appeal, and then we have Meadows's reply to the government's response, and that's due on the 28th. And that's the Georgia case again for the removal. And then 29, we've got case management pretrial motions starting at 9 a.m. for cheese and crackers, or Powell and Cheesebro. So they've got a lot of stuff going on. They're pretty quick. You want some Cheesebro? All right. And then on the 30th, and this is the DC case, if it's in Orange, it's DC, we have the government's reply to the defendant's opposition to the gag order is due. All right. So that's a busy week next week for the gag order. So Monday, we've got the defendant's response. And then the following Saturday, we have the government's response to their response. So their reply. Thank you for making this easier to understand. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm glad to help. Yeah, popcorn ready. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip to October if we're ready. Are we ready for October, everybody? I'm trying to keep the calendar in the frame. Is it in the frame well enough? Because I can bump it up just a little bit more if I need to. Yes, it's in the frame well enough. Okay. All right, so let's head in then to October, which is a little bit easier to see. All right, so October. Now, here's the color key, just so everyone knows. Georgia is in green, New York is blue, Florida pink, DC is orange. So those colors will apply for everyone here. Can they file documents on Saturday? Oh, yeah, they file them 7 days a week. Absolutely. They file a lot. There's a lot. But great question. Yeah, it used to be you couldn't do that. But, back in the Stone Age days, back when we had a horse and a carriage. Oh, my goodness. All right. So on the 2nd, the New York civil trial begins, everybody. That's the date. That's the first trial. Will be on the 2nd, the civil case. So all pretrial motions, everything will all be done by then because they're going into court on the 2nd. So it's going to be a busy day. And the next thing that we have then is Friday, where we have the initial discovery for everybody else in the Georgia cases due. So the previous week we had Powell and Cheese Bros discovery due, but for everybody else, we're looking here at this Friday date for that initial discovery period. I'm too old. No! No. It's just weird. Yeah, they just file it all the time now. So that's on the 6th. Now this is October. And then the following Monday, all pretrial motions that are not motions in limine then are due in the DC case. So pretrial motions, not limine motions, are all set out then. So that's our next big date for DC. Now we've got that SIPA hearing. Remember we were talking about that Classified Information Procedures Act, which is a special piece out of the Florida case. Any challenges to the hearings or disclosure, any of those things, those challenges have to be filed in court by Tuesday, the 10th of October. Appreciate the work you put into this. Oh, you're welcome, Meg. You're welcome. It helps me to figure it out. Are you a professor? Well, not this semester, but sometimes I am. And then next we have, this is really an interesting one. So on the 10th, we've got the New York criminal, and the government's response to the motion to dismiss in the criminal case is due on the 10th. So we've got, we still have that criminal case going. It's still going forward. And that motion to dismiss was filed, and the response is due on the 10th of October. So then that opens the rest of the week up. The following week, we have a hearing on the CISA. So again, the classified documents situation. We can have a hearing on that only if it's needed. And this is, again, these are all according to the orders that were set out in all these different cases. I just put them all together into a color-coded situation. Are they allowed to file extensions? Yes, although, as you'll see soon, any extensions can really throw everybody off. So I'm sure the judges are kind of being careful about it. But yeah, extensions, continuances, those kinds of things can all be kind of plugged in as needed as time goes on. So hearing here if we need it. And then the following Friday, we have an initial for Powell and Cheesebro. We've got the initial juror questionnaires that are going to be discussed. So that first initial set of questionnaires will be set out and will be due back in. So that's the first time they'll get to see what their jury pool will really look like. Then we've got the defendant's discovery and a motion to continue if needed in Florida. They'll need to file that motion to continue by the 20th if they're going to. And I think that's one way that the judge is trying to keep things on track, even though with Judge Cannon, she seems to be kind of okay taking her time, but she also has a pretty decent schedule set out. It gets pretty busy as we go on. So if he does want to file a motion to continue, he can here. Now the following week gets pretty busy. On that Monday, we've got Cheese and Crackers on trial. So their trial's scheduled to start on October 23rd. So their speedy hits on the 23rd. That's when they start. So voir dire, all of those things get going then on the 23rd. And also in DC, so we have all of our pretrial motions up here. And now any opposition to these motions in DC are due on the 23rd also. So both of those are set for the 23rd. So that will be a busy, busy day for everyone involved. Yes. So we've got the civil trial starting on the 2nd. We've got Cheese and Crackers on the 23rd. We've got discovery being set in Florida. and pretrial motions in DC. So it's a lot. And then that New York criminal case as well. That motion to dismiss opposition needs to be filed. So that's a lot. That's all the trials have a lot of stuff going on in October. It's going to be a busy, busy month. Where can we watch the trial for free? The Georgia trial will be streamed online. I think they'll have their own kind of streaming place set up for that. But none of the other cases will be that I don't know of anyone else that's having cameras. We've got federal cases going on, and New York has different rules too. I'm not really sure if has anyone heard about New York on whether or not there's cameras? My understanding is there's no cameras in New York either. Yes, cheese and crackers are going together. Yes, I'll take Gregoria. That's funny. That's funny. Judges lay out the calendar like this to know his schedule. I don't think so. I doubt it. They're probably just like, have you even seen the schedule in Georgia? My gosh, their docket, like this case isn't even like the worst case going on there. There's so much going on in Georgia. Whoo. Have you thought that all these trials will be in the history books? Yeah, I think so. Yes, I apologize. So Cheeseborough and Powell, their trial, they're number 15 and number 5 and number 16. So I've listed them out. We've got Cheeseborough's number 5, and then Powell is number 16. So, I'm just trying to think of a way to make it easier to get them listed in here. So it's easier to kind of get through all of it. So yeah, has anyone heard about New York? I don't think there is in New York. Okay, Laura, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think they had them. But at this point, I'm not, I don't think that they've got cameras in New York, which is kind of, it's too bad. So the only thing televised, of course, will be, this one in Georgia, because these will not be televised, any of these other situations. But we will definitely be able to see what the pretrial motions are, the oppositions, those kinds of things, as well as probably daily coverage. I have no doubt, extensive daily coverage of the New York case. All right, so that's October. Everybody got October down. We'll move on to November as we keep getting going. Here we go. So here's November. Now, there's really a lot going on in Florida in November, but not Georgia. And I think that's because we don't have a firm calendar yet for Georgia. New York does not allow cameras. Okay, thanks, Hawk. Good to know. Yes, so let's go through our cast of characters one more time here before I dive too far into November. So there's Miss Powell here. So Miss Powell and Mr. Cheeseborough are being tried together. They both demanded speedy and are both being tried together in Georgia. So that's how they're set. Now, everybody else has a different trial schedule, but the details of that schedule just aren't known quite yet. So the Georgia steps will kind of be coming in over the next week or so, is what I would imagine. So there we go. So back into November. Again, just make sure, let me know if I'm out of frame here for anyone. I'll just keep my eye on it. So we've got, again, Georgia's the question because we don't know. We'll be able to fill this in more later. And after I'm done with the calendar, I will go through the motions and things that have been filed in Georgia so we can kind of see what's going on there, because they've got all kinds of stuff going on. It's really ridiculous and understandable that there's so many attorneys involved. So first we've got in DC, back to DC again. So we have pretrial motions that are not motions of limine. Then we had opposition. Now we have replies by the government. So any replies to the oppositions for motions then are due on the 6th of November. All the way back up here, we have pretrial motions in Florida due on the 3rd. So Florida's still, moving along. Even though it seems slow, it's still moving. So pretrial motions in Florida, reply in DC, and then Rule 6 expert disclosures Again, this is based off of her order that she had set out, right at the very beginning. So that's where these dates are coming from. They could be moved, I'm sure, if needed. Rule 6, expert disclosures. So any expert witnesses, Rule 16, any expert witnesses that anybody's going to call for the government, that's the plaintiff side. So that just means the government. Those are due on the 8th. And then any experts the defense wants to call, those would be due on the 15th. So we've got 2 dates for experts. Also, we've got the SIPA Section 5 notice that's also due. Again, that has to do with the any of the questions because of the classified documents piece. So, SIPA and CISA are both really involved because the documents are involved. So we've got, that's on the 17th. Then the following week, we have a status report for the government's discovery. That's due on the 21st for Florida. And then a status conference is due on the 28th of November for Florida. So, again, Florida is really clipping along. I mean, the dates are set. They could be moved, but it's at a steady pace for Florida. So Florida and then DC. Again, we don't have the Georgia dates yet because Georgia's a bit of a tangle right now. So that takes us then into December. December, we've got 404B notice. Actually, let's start at the beginning here. We've got number 1. All motions that are not in limine in Georgia are due on the 1st of December. So that's what's been set for Georgia. We really don't have much more than that, but that's Georgia. And then the 404B notice by the government. So 404B is if you want to submit into court or admit to in front of the jury any evidence of prior bad acts or other prior wrongs, you have to give notice is what the judge is requiring in DC, which is pretty normal. So if they're going to use any prior bad acts, they have to put notice in front of the court by the 4th then of December. That's what this is for here. And that's just a sign for the government. So that's on the 4th. And then DC, we've got a disclosure of our expert witnesses. So any experts need to be disclosed in DC on the 11th. Pretrial motion hearing is set for Florida on the 11th. So we've got disclosures here. We've got a pretrial motion. Now, when you've got 2 things set like this, I'm wondering, because Trump is the defendant in both of these cases, right? So disclosure of experts is just going to be a filing. So it's a filing in DC, but then we've got this hearing in Florida. I mean, these days are going to be stacked. They're going to be really busy. It's going to be a busy time for everybody. So we've got that on the 11th. And then we've got, again, the SIPA hearing, the SIPA motion due, which has to do with if the classified documents are being handled properly and so on. With that, can you file a common law record, statement of facts, or records of proceedings with a reply brief? Depends on what your jurisdiction requires. Everybody kind of asks for something a little bit different jurisdictionally. So that will depend on that. Yes, hello, Olga. Yes, this is December. We are in December now. So we've gone through October so far, looks the busiest, but we will see. Now we've got, let's see, number 18. So the 18th of December, we have an exchange of exhibits. So all the exhibits that they're planning to use for the DC case, those need to be exchanged by the 18th of December. And then we've got the civil trial in New York. Remember, that starts the very second day of October, has to be finished by the 22nd. So the whole time all of this is going on, we're still having that civil trial in New York, technically. Yes, a motion in limine is it's a mechanism you can use to ask the court to set aside certain pieces of information for some kind of reason. So maybe it's too prejudicial, maybe it's a waste of the court's time or something like that. But for some reason, you're asking the court to set aside particular pieces of evidence. And so in order to do that, you have to file it in a motion in limine, and then the judge will, listen to the response to the motion in limine and then make a decision or have a hearing on it. Yeah, I really have no idea how how it's going to go down because this schedule is like, what? Yes. So we've got the $250 million lawsuit. That's the civil suit in New York. Yep. Yep. Lemonade Motion. You got it. So that has to be wrapped up by December 22nd. And again, it starts on October 2nd. So we've got almost 3 full months of this civil trial, which is their max. So they're saying it has to be done by then. I think Hawk, yeah, I've never seen anything like this before in my life, ever. And I've seen a lot of cases. I've never seen this many jurisdictions, this many charges, this many people involved. No, I've never seen anything like this before. Nope, never. And I don't know that we ever would again unless we had a major, it just crosses over so many different jurisdictions. There's just so many things going on. So here we go. Then on December 27th, all motions in limine as well as motions to suppress are due on the 27th. So those are, and this is the DC case. So before all this, pretrial motions were earlier done, but now the motions in limine, the motions to suppress, and that's in preparation for trial, especially for next president. Yeah. For anybody, I've never seen anything like this before. Maybe if we get it right, we'll never have to go through. Well, I think we learned the hard way, but we do learn. We might be slow learners even, but we do learn. We do learn over here. I'm amazed they can put a time limit on a civil suit. I think, this has been in the works for years. So everybody's got a pretty good idea of what the evidence is going to be that's going to be coming out and the defense. And so I think with the knowledge of how the trial is going to go, I think it was a pretty fair bet for them to be able to set the limit on it. I'm not too surprised just because there's so much going on. There's just so much going on. Slow learners. Yeah. Is that what he always says? Has no one ever seen? Yeah, no one's ever seen anything like this before, Rack. No one's ever seen it. Is there lenience for a day late filing? No. Our courts no longer do any lenience. Now that COVID's over, no. If you don't file on time, you're done. You are toasted. That's the official term. You're toasted. All right, so that's December, everybody. Yikes! It's going to be busy. And then we bump into January again. So January's got a couple unique pieces because first we've got the Iowa caucuses on January 15th. So that's going to be coming into play. That's important. And then we also have the Carol damages portion of the lawsuit that she had, the defamation. So the second set of damages. So she already had the first set of damages. There's a Carol 1 and a Carol 2. So we've got damages that will need to be set for that. But let's back up. So we're going back to DC here on the 3rd. Any objections to any exhibits need to be done by the 3rd of January. Then on the 4th is the defendant's response to the SIPA, so those classified records situations in Florida. That's on the 4th, the defendant's response. Now the New York criminal hearing on the motion to dismiss is on the 4th of January. Now the motion to dismiss is filed and will be argued against. And then by the time it gets to a hearing, it's like really taking a long time. So that New York case is taking a really long time. It's going to take a while, but slow, but continues on nevertheless. And then, so that's set for January 4th. Then on the 8th is the plaintiff's reply to the SIPA. So we've got the response, then the reply. So there's 3 stages. There's the motion, there's the response, then the reply. So there's their reply there. Then next on the 9th in DC, we have any oppositions to motions in limine and suppress as well as the exhibit list. So any problems anybody has with any of these motions has to be filed by the 9th of January. So that'll be set. Now again, the Carol damages assessment, that starts on the 15th of January. And then we've also got a joint submission in DC for a short narrative and proposed voir dire and instructions in verdict form. So we're again preparing for trial in DC, and she's saying, I need you to submit this joint set of proposed jury instructions and questions you're going to ask during the voir dire process, because it's going to take a really, really, really long time. This is going to take quite a bit of time. So they're going to want to have all of this prepared ahead of time. Next, we've got the SIPA Section 6A, which again is statutorily required because of the documents. This is set out in Florida, so that's the 16th of January. And then we've got a break. So that'll be a busy time too. A lot of busy stuff going on. And then that takes us into February. So what's going on in February? And things start getting a little bit lighter here, but we've got in Florida, the defense reciprocal discovery is due. So they have to hand discovery over to the government by the 5th of February. On the 12th in DC, the government has to disclose any of the remaining Brady information. So what happens if we have a government shutdown? Will they still have court? Yes, and court is seen as one of those essential functions. It's just, you don't get paid, right? The federal employees don't get paid if it goes on for too long. I think they can get back wages if it doesn't go for too long, but if it goes for too long, they're essential. It's an essential function to the government, but, they don't get paid, which is awful. It's awful, but not as bad as it could have been this summer when they already tried to do something a bit similar, but it's pretty bad. They'll keep going though. Let's see. Yeah, it's a furlough. Yeah, thanks, Hawk. You got it. What is Trump's lawyer's hourly rate? Good question. Can I get credit for taking Law 101 after this? I'm not sure. I'm not an accredited source here. I haven't paid my accreditation rules here. Oh, they get back pay. My son-in-law got it. Okay, thank you, Greg. Okay, back pay. So there's something, but yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? It'll be awful. It'll be awful. The whole situation is awful. They're all different lawyer teams. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Will Supreme Court justices get paid? Yep. But on the plus side, they don't get paid very much. So there's that, I guess. I don't know. Is that a plus side? Is that what a plus side looks like these days? We're going to be taking the bar after this. Yes, I will. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Defund anything. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of that going on. There's so much. It's a mess right now. They need to get themselves sorted out. Come on, Congress. Get yourself sorted out. All right. So the Brady information, any exculpatory evidence has to be shown to the other side by then, which I'm sure would probably have already been done. But here's just a final date for that. Yeah, Texas toast. True story. So might be easier to take the bar at this time than my anatomy. Oh my gosh, Daisy, I can't imagine. Oh my gosh, that stuff looks really difficult. Love the way you break this down. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it's how I break it down for myself. I'm just, sharing it with other people. Hopefully it's helpful for other people too. But yeah, this is just how my brain works. So, all right, now 19th of January, we have the exchange of witness lists and the Giglio material. So all of these then are due for the DC case on the 19th. That's important. Now, witness lists, of course, would be exchanged, but this kind of material is any kind of evidence that they have that might be exculpatory about the witnesses. So if there's any kind of bad acts or discreditation for the witnesses, they have to give that information over to the other side also. And that's pretty typical in federal courts. And that's just based off of this case. They had a case that set that out, saying not only do you have to give exculpatory evidence, but you need to give exculpatory evidence about the witnesses as well. So if you know your witness is bad and you've got information, you need to share that with the other side. So something important to take into consideration when you're putting your witness list together in federal court. All right, 26th of February is in Florida, a hearing on any of the remaining pretrial motions. either evidentiary or non-evidentiary. So that's the next Florida step, the last piece in February. And then that takes us into March, and March is busy. We've got the DC trial starts March 4th. The very next day is Super Tuesday, so that's our big primary day for those keeping track at home. On the 20th, our motion in limine and prior bad acts are due in Florida, so we're getting close to trial in Florida as well. And then the New York criminal trial starts March 25th. Bet Dee's more organized than Trump is. Well, yeah, probably. Probably. I feel like maybe his organizational skills could use some help. But, whatever. Everybody's different. So March, we're looking at 2 trials in March. We're looking at the DC trial and we're looking at the New York criminal trial. Both of those are going to be going along with these motions in limine, which will give us a lot of insight into what's going on in Florida. Florida is going to be the last big one to go. Now, we don't have exact everything set down for Georgia yet. We'll kind of have to get those dates firmed up. What's limine? Yes, so a motion in limine is a motion to kind of keep certain pieces of evidence out of court for one reason or another. So it's a pretrial motion. You're saying, look, I've got this document. It might be relevant, but it's too prejudicial under Rule 403, so I want to keep it out of court. So people debate it back and forth, and then the judge decides if it's allowed or not. So it's just a pretrial motion that we use typically before we prep for trial, just like the prior bad acts, which we would call that a 403 or a 404B or 403, 404. Sorry, I got my rules mixed up for a minute, but that's a 404 motion out of the rules of evidence. So these are just rules that we have to file. So accordingly. So if we've got stuff we want to keep out, probably like some of the audio, some of the tapes, some of the tweets, any of that stuff they could say is too prejudicial for the jury and could try to get it tossed. Will they be successful? I doubt it, but it's possible. Yes, different attorneys for each trial. Used to be number 7, and they struck that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot. You got to make sure you stay on target when you're doing all these trials, though. And there could be a lot of motions put into place. Screenshots every month, great for references. Oh, absolutely. That was my hope. The pyramids, really, about the phone calls. That's interesting. I think they're defunding themselves. I think there's a lot of the different Republican parties that have gone bankrupt. Now, that's information that I've gathered, not political. That's just from what I've heard. So, okay, so then March we have, and I'll go back through the calendar again, everybody, one more time too, just to show in case everyone wants to do screenshots again. All right, so that's March, and then we have April. April, we're just, running down the Florida track. So we've got the government SIPA motion is due on the 11th. A hearing on the motions in limine is the 17th. And then we've got the defendant's response to the SIPA motion due on the 25th, which takes us then to the last month, May. Government reply to SIPA, a hearing on the remaining SIPA calendar. So these classified documents need so much additional work because of the hearings that are required. And then the Florida trial begins March 20th. So that is that. That is the best I could do to kind of arrange that. So let me take you through each month again so anyone can do screenshots. Yeah, May 20th is when the Florida trial is set. So it's a lot. They're really, you got to keep in mind, each one of these courts have full, packed, overloaded dockets. I think Georgia has one of the most overloaded dockets in the entire United States, and they're still trying to get this stuff into place. So it's a mess, but they're going to keep going forward, hopefully taking care of it. So let me take you through each one of these just one more time so everyone who wants to take a picture can. I want to make sure I'm in frame enough for all of these too. So All right, so am I in frame enough, or should I pull it up a little bit more? Oh, that's okay, Suze. Welcome. Anytime is good. Are we good, or is this good enough for? Okay, so yes, yes. How's this? Okay, could you turn the paper sideways? Oh, I could do that. Is this better? Is this better for everybody? Yes, yes. Month name not okay. Better, better. Okay. No, no, it's not better. Yes and no. No, no, and yes. Wait a minute. I'm confused. Yes, it is better. Okay. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh. You all are hilarious. Okay. So I'll go through once this way and then I'll go through the other way. Yes means no. All right. All right. Take a screenshot, everybody. Hopefully you're taking a screenshot and then I'll go ahead and move it. So, all right. We ready? Okay, I'll flip it. I'll come back. We'll do it again. Okay, so I'm going to move it to, I don't want to turn my phone. Fair enough. Okay, so I'm going to turn it sideways now. Here we go. Here's the other way. There we go. How's that? Turn your phones, people. That's so funny. Okay, so that's September. I don't know. This is way different than class. Usually I would just hand this out. Just take a stack and hand it to everybody. All right, so here's November, so you can get a shot at that. Really, we have a lot of Florida stuff going on. Wait. Sorry, October comes after November, or before November. My bad. Here we go. Here's October. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yep, there's October right here. October. Good. All right. Now, here's November. Oh, wait, no, I already got, oh, wait, did everybody miss October? Wait, am I lagging? You can post it on your page. I need for special students. Okay, here's October again, everybody, all right? Here's October. Okay, here's October. Here's November. Here's November. Oh, I know, mine too. Okay, here's December. There's a sideways. Yes, Christmas time. Can we just put in a Google Doc for everyone? Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I don't know. Okay, here's slow down for the court reporter. Oh my goodness. We need a Discord. We do. Okay, here's January. I tell you what, I will make a video of this. I will take a picture of each shot of each page, okay? And I will post it. So I will do that for sure. I'll make sure everyone will have to turn their phones sideways, but yeah, I'll make a post about it after the live tonight. I should have thought to do it before, but you know, it's been busy. Okay, here's April. We only have one more left. Only one more. I know, my paralegal doesn't come home with me. And you pose with your rings. Posing. Should I be hand model? That's the best I can do. All right, and then here's May. Yeah, sentencing dates haven't been set yet. So I teach us. Oh my gosh. Yes. No, I will. Sorry, everybody. It's the best I can do. It's the best I got for you. But I will, yeah. So yeah, the PDF situation. I'm really, not sure. I'm not sure about that. I'll do a post on it. Yes, and the Cheeto nails. Let me just give you a sneak peek. Okay, so I'll just do a sneak peek just for everyone that's here tonight. So I've got these and I just got to find the right night to wear them, okay? So I'm not sure which one, but I will definitely have the Cheeto nails coming coming pretty soon. At some point. Okay, somebody asked for March again. Hold on. Okay, here's April. And then here's March. Here's March. Back again. Yes, I will do a full post. Yeah, I've got the set. I've got to save it for a special occasion. Did you use gift money for? I used it for ink actually. And you know what's so crazy? My ink light just went on again tonight. Don't get me wrong, I've got at least 1,000 more pages of printing I could do, but yes, it's gonna it's a lot. I am like my printer. I need to name my printer because it's become a member of my family now. So, yes. Oh, wait, January. I went too quick. Sorry. Hold on. There's January. Yes, I'm taking any. Maybe I'll call it cheese and crackers. I'll call. I'll call my printer cheese and crackers. Oh, I do have two printers actually. Oh, no, it's not actually. I don't know why anyone would put papers in a bathroom. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. February, yes, I can do February. All right, here's February. Oh, yeah, oh, yes, of course, of course. Okay, so will the Cheeto niece? No. Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious. All right, here's March. So there we've got March there. So, and I promise I will make a post and I'll make sure that it's not sideways. But I'll do the post after the live. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So I do have still, I wanted to go through the Georgia filings that have been done. So I still have that for everyone who's interested. Our copy machines, Bob Marley. Oh, I love that. Yes. Again, I can't remember where I heard it. That's not original to me, but it's definitely one of the funnier things I've heard. I think we have to laugh. I think everybody has to laugh a little bit, right? Right. We can't be so serious all the time. Okie dokie. Yes. It's a lot. It's really a lot. There's so much going on. Landscape. Okay, landscape 1. We won. Okay, got it. Thank you for that. Whoever did that poll, genius. Well, one day at a time. You'll just notice you start chuckling again, just a little bit. And as time goes on, it'll come back. All right, I promise everybody I will make a post immediately following to go through the calendar. Yes, I understand. It's been a lot. All right, now this isn't the most pretty here. This is functional. This really isn't for beauty, but I wanted to take you through the different motions that have been filed here in Georgia because it's a lot. Everybody's split. Everybody's filing all these different motions. So I wanted to take you through what the docket looks like. They don't have a docket set up in Georgia like we do for the federal cases. So I had to kind of just hunt and peck and kind of put these things together based on when things were filed. So sorry about that. I'll just say I apologize. It's just how my brain worked. Yeah. All right. So let me take you through what's going on here. So this is the Georgia docket, and I'll just walk you through what's been filed and who has filed what, just so that you have any information that you're interested in. So what I did, anything in green, for anyone who needs the color key, okay? Anything in green is the government. Anything in yellow is Meadows. Anything in pink is the court. Blue and yellow and purple is Clark. Meadows again here. Trump is a rectangle and he's orange. Schaefer is just blue. Clark again here, and then so on. So each person has their own style, so I could separate all of the different people out. So as we go through it, I'll be able to tell you, like, you know, each of these yellow ones is a filing by Meadows versus the filings done by Chesebro, which are orange, and the court and the government. So that's kind of how it is. But I'll walk you through the colors as we go through it. So you don't have to remember exactly what everything is. But the first thing, we had the indictment on the 14th, and the very first thing that was filed on the 15th was Meadows' notice for removal. So he was just right out of the gate. Then we had the government filing a pretrial schedule. Then we had an order for the evidential hearing for Meadows. Then we had Clark objecting to the pretrial schedule that the government had done. Then we have Meadows doing a notice for a prompt hearing, and Meadows doing a memo in support of a dismissal at this point. Trump entered his consent bond order. Schaefer did a notice of removal and a habeas. So some people may not have realized it, but all the way back on the 21st is when Schaefer did his notice for removal. Here's Schaefer again. Now he's claiming he was a federal officer acting within his duties as a federal person. So that's not going to work. Oh, I know, VC. I know. And this is only the first page. This is a nightmare. I can't even imagine having to do it. So here's Schaefer's notice. Then we have Clark, who did the notice of removal. Clark did the emergency motion. So he tried to get that emergency stay. The order here from the clerk was set out as well. And the order was basically, they said that the DA needed to respond. We had an emergency motion for an immediate removal because of the arrest situation for Meadows, if we all remember that. Chesebro's demand for speedy. Chesebro's consolidated motions and demand for discovery was already done. The government filed a response to the emergency motion. Then the government did a response to the opposition to the removal by Meadows. So Clark and Meadows, the government responded to. District Court ordered denying Clark's emergency stay, and then the District Court denied Meadows' emergency removal. Now, the government responded to Meadows' notice of removal, and then the government went forward on a motion for especially setting the trial. Remember, she was saying, look, if everybody's going to just ask for speedy, let's just get it all done. Let's just get her done. Next, we've got Trump and his response in opposition to the state's pretrial schedule, which was all the way back up here. So that was his motion. Then the Georgia Supreme Court set Chesebro's trial start date for October 23rd. Next, we've got Still. So let's just take a moment and see if we can look at Mr. Still. He's one of the fake electors here. He has filed a notice of removal. So him, along with Schaefer, have notices of removal. Meadows did a reply, by the way, to the state's response for his removal. Latham also did a notice of removal. So here she is. So she's the third character as far as the three asking for removal for the fake electors. So they all got their notice in when it came to wanting to be removed. Next, we have the government's first batch of discovery. That was August 25th. Now we've got Powell demanding speedy. Your blessing. I'm seriously awed by. Oh, well, thank you. Oh, such kind words. Yes. You know, I'm just happy to share. Or else, I've said it before, I'd be just sitting in my corner by myself, talking to myself about it. So it's nice to be able to share with other people who are interested. So we've got a demand for speedy by Powell. We've got Chesebro motion to speak with the grand jurors. So he filed that motion here in August 28th. Then we've got the government's motion to clarify the scheduling order, August 29th. That takes us into the next set. And again, let's all take a moment to respect the clerks. Yikes. Yikes. All right, so we've got district court order on the evidentiary hearing for Latham. We've got Chesebro filing a motion to disclose the unindicted co-conspirators to the grand jury. Then we've got Chesebro's motion to sever. Powell did a motion to sever also. Now Trump came in and did a response in opposition to the government's motion to clarify. So that was his second motion. Government motion for the court to advise of speedy issues, which was really interesting, actually. So she had basically said, to the court, I want you to tell everybody the ramifications for asking for speedy. And so the court was like, what? That was a really unusual request, I think, from the government. It's very unusual. The court Rule 22 order allowing devices, which was August 31st. So Trump pleaded not guilty, did a waiver of appearance. Then he also did a motion to sever from speedy. So he did a special motion saying, I don't want speedy, making it very clear he didn't want to have anything to do with speedy or anyone involved in the speedy business. Now we've got Mr. Smith, who did a motion to sever. So let's go back again. And where's Mr. Smith? Here's Mr. Smith right here. So Mr. Smith, who is an attorney, did a motion to sever. So that's him. So that's his little symbol that I've used. So next we've got the government's post-hearing brief, which, we had gone through before. Meadows filed a notice regarding the state court's filings, as well as a supplemental brief. Next we've got Chesebro responding to the government's motion to advise on speedy. So remember that weird motion I told you about where she's like, you need to tell everybody if they do speedy, they're going to be in trouble. I don't know if that's her voice or not, but he did a response saying, "Nuh-uh, you don't have to tell us, rude." And then the court came in and said, we're going to deny your motion anyway. I think everybody knows what's going to happen if speedy's requested. So that's how that went down. That was just like a little mini battle that happened within the court. Next, we've got Chesebro's motion to sever from Powell. So he tried to separate himself from Powell. That, as we know, was denied. We had the hearing on both of them for that severing, which was denied. Clark came in with a motion to extend deadlines and a demur in special. So the demur, again, is claiming parts of the indictment are incorrect. And we kind of went through a little bit of those pieces the other day when we were on. Next, we have Eastman. Now, this is Eastman's only filing. He filed a motion to sever. Again, keep in mind, this is Eastman here. He has a lot going on. So his only filing was for a motion to sever. Chesebro came back in with another motion to dismiss. We've got the court's motion on a hearing for Georgia v. Trump. So we've got kind of like a housekeeping hearing set. The government's motion to restrict juror identities was filed. Trump then filed an initial notice regarding removal of his prosecution. So what this was he filed a motion saying, I may or may not seek speedy. I'm not sure at this time, which I'm not sure why that needed to be done, but whatever. So I think he just wanted to kind of put a placer in to say, I might request speedy later, but I'm not doing it right now. So that's what this motion was here. So we had also from Chesebro now a general demur, again with that RICO count 1. So Chesebro's claiming that information about the RICO is false, is bad information. That's what the demur is for. The government's opposition to Latham being removed. So on the previous page, we had Miss Latham claiming she wanted to be removed to federal court. And then now we've got the government saying, no, we don't think so. Next comes in, 3 years later, I want speedy trial. Exactly. Oh my goodness. Now Giuliani's got a demand for an indictment, perfect form, and a motion to quash. This is interesting because this is really kind of an old school way of filing on an indictment. So basically he's saying, you need to really firm up and be extremely precise with your indictment. It's a classic move that defendants would make a long time ago when they're trying to kind of stall or see what the government has against them. So this is just kind of an old school move. Yeah, pretty old school. I'm sure he had a lot of people file them against him, when he was in his role. And so he's like, hey, I'm going to do it too. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. Anyway, so that was his filing and the motion to quash, which we kind of talked about before. Next, we've got the special purpose grand jury final report came out. District Court denial of removal request for Meadows came out. Next, we've got the motion to sever by Cuddy. Now, this is her first motion involving anything, and she has filed a motion to sever. So she wants to be split from everybody else. Yes. Oh, hello. Hello. Good to see you too. So that's hers. We've got another supplement to an earlier motion to sever by Schaefer. Again, this is that fake elector suspected person. And so he wanted to add a supplemental information trying to get severed from the rest of the crew of the people involved in the things. All right. Yeah, it does kind of. All right. So next we've got Giuliani filed a motion to sever and a continuance. So now he's actually gotten on the motion to sever train, and that was September 8th. That was set out. Now Smith filed demur for the indictments as well. So again, that demur is just saying pieces of that indictment are incorrect. This is Smith right here. So that's him filing, again, that demur and indictment, which is referred to in the motions to quash that we went through before. Emergency motion for a stay pending the appeal was filed by Meadows. So he had appealed his denial of being put into federal court. So he said, I want to stay while my appeal is pending. The district court ordered consolidating those three. So still Latham and the last person was involved. All of those were consolidated here. Now, the district court also ordered the government to respond to Meadows' emergency stay. So these are back-to-back orders. All right. Is everyone following me here? I'm talking pretty quick, but I hope I'm explaining everything. Do all these get hearings? No, not necessarily, but they all get responses, and then they get replies. And then if they can't come to an agreement, then a hearing gets set. Yes. Okay, great. Just making sure. Sometimes, it sounds fine in my head, but I'm not sure if other people, I'm like, are there other people here? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So here we go. Still in Latham here. Then we've got the district court ordering the government to respond, which means the government must have said, we're not going to respond. And they're like, hey, you need to. Next, we've got Meadows' motion to stay pending the U.S. Court of Appeals. So we had a motion to stay up here. This was an emergency motion. This is just a regular motion here from Meadows. Now Floyd is jumping in with these very interesting motions. Now, this is Floyd here again, just to remind everybody. This is Floyd, and Floyd has filed a motion to reveal the deal and a brief in support. So I don't even know what that means exactly. I'm not even sure what that is. I'm assuming that means it's similar to Giuliani's motion where he wanted clarification or a more perfect indictment. So that's what that seems to be. And then he also filed a motion to sever. He also filed a motion to unseal general election materials, which, hashtag relevance. I got no idea what that's all about. And then he also filed a motion to unseal the special grand jury transcript. Those were motions that he filed. So that's it for Floyd. That's what he's been doing. Justice system is, well, I don't know. I think anything can be weaponized. I once saw a guy explain how you could weaponize a paperclip. So, I'm not sure how to respond to that exactly. All right. So now I've got some motions by Trump. Trump here has a motion to adopt Giuliani's motion to quash, which is, fantastic. These next sets of motions crack me up. Trump has a motion to adopt Cheeseborough's general demur for count 1. Trump filed a motion to adopt Cheeseborough's motion to dismiss. So rather than filing even separate motions, he's just attaching himself onto these other motions that have been filed. So he's like, hey, I want in on that. I want in on that. And I want in on that. So I don't know. I just thought that was hilarious that he's just like, me too. I want those things too. Add me in. All right. So then the court gave a notice of motions hearing regarding Chesebro and Powell. That was set out. And then we've got the 11th Circuit ordering the government to respond to Meadows' emergency request. So the district court and the 11th Circuit are like, hey, yo, government, you need to respond to his emergency stay request. And the government's like, fine, which it comes down here. Not quite yet, but so the 11th Circuit is telling the government to get themselves sorted out. And then Chesebro files a motion to dismiss, another motion to dismiss. The district court is denying Meadows' motion for an emergency stay. All right. And then Trump is waiving his speedy. So before he said, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, but now he's officially waiving it. And then the government has a post-hearing brief. You know, we've had our post-hearing briefs coming up regarding the motions and splitting everybody up. And then the government does a response opposing Meadows' emergency stay. So by the time the government opposed the emergency stay, like the district court had already denied the motion for the emergency stay. So, I mean, it was just the next day, but still, it's like the 11th Circuit ordered it on the 12th. The DC court ordered it on the 11th. The government's like, we're busy. So filed on the 13th, but they had already denied it on the 12th. Anyway, it's cracking me up. It's lawyer humor because the dockets get to be a mess. I can't imagine how hard it is for everybody involved in this situation. Anyway, all right. Well, good job, government. You did what you needed to do. Now, after their response was filed, then the 11th Circuit granted Meadows' emergency motion. So the district court denied it, but the 11th Circuit granted it. Right? It's a lot. It's a lot. So then the government responded to the Court of Appeals' order. So that's a mess. So that becomes a mess. And then Meadows then responds, does a response brief to the Court of Appeals' order. So they're just fighting over whether or not to hold until the appeal goes through. It's a lot. All right. So moving on. Now we've got the Supreme Court case-specific scheduled order set out. State Supreme Court order on defendant's motion for severing and staying. State Supreme Court order denying defendant's request for evidentiary hearing. So there was an evidentiary hearing requested, and the state Supreme Court's like, no, thanks. I'm just, busy. Then we've got McCaffrey's motions hearing. So his hearing was set out, where they went through and, I think we sat through that together. Next, Meadows filed his motion to withdraw the emergency stay in the Court of Appeals. Can you even believe it? So let's just take a minute and acknowledge what's happened here. Okay, let's take a minute. We have a motion for an emergency stay by Meadows on the 11th. Okay, so the district court told the government to respond. The 11th Circuit told the government to respond. So the district court said, never mind, your motion has been denied. The government responds. The 11th Circuit says, nope, your stay is granted. The government responds to that. Then Meadows responds to that. And now Meadows withdraws the emergency stay. What is going on? Within the matter of 3 days, there's like 500 different things that have been, it hasn't even been a week. Is it crazy? I know. He's like, oh, never mind. I withdraw my motion. Like, what? Anyway, so that happened. And next we've got this declaration by Clark on a removal from Fulton County. Now I want to pause here to show you this declaration. Yeah, I know. Why exactly? That's a great question. So hold on. Let me grab this declaration for you. Okay, so I wasn't aware of the declaration. Did everybody know about this already? The declaration? I didn't know. I didn't even know what he was talking about, this declaration. It's fascinating because, he's like, hey, I got stuff to say. And I'm like, okay. So he basically just wrote out what his thoughts are. Like, you don't do that in court. Like, what are you doing? Why are they allowed to play like this? This is lawyers playing a huge game here. I mean, could you be any more annoying than getting the 11th Circuit and the Court of Appeals involved? I don't know. All right, so here's this declaration that was filed. I won't go through all of it, but let me just give you the introduction. I think you can probably take it from there. So he's asking again for this removal from Fulton County Superior Court. My name is Jeffrey Clark. I'm of sound mind and have personal knowledge of the following. During the George W. Bush administration, I was appointed by Attorney General John Ashcroft in conjunction with the Presidential Personnel Office. It didn't meaning anything because he didn't show up to be cross-examined. Exactly. But I think this is really important. As a Deputy Assistant Attorney General in 2001 and served until 2005, I'm thus well acquainted with the regulations of, policies of, and day-to-day operations of the U.S. Justice Department and have had that level of familiarity with decades. Now, he goes on to explain his experience, but I want to take a moment. This is the guy, right? This is the guy that almost became the acting attorney general. And I had posted a clip going over the actual attorney general and assistant attorney general explaining that Clark wasn't qualified. So he's going through all of his like accolades of all of these amazing things that he's done because of his prior experience and how he's worked in the Bush administration and so on. And so for me, as I was going through this and I was looking it up, I just kept thinking like, was this the stuff he was trying to say to the president to get appointed as AG? Because it's really not that impressive. So here we've got, attached here too is Exhibit 7, a true and correct copy of a letter I received from Doug Collins as attorney for former President Trump, dated August 2nd of 2021, asserting and instructing me to assert executive privilege with respect to the House Oversight and Senate Judiciary Committee investigations respectfully. So this whole time, he's just going through and making up all of these reasons why he shouldn't have to testify. He shouldn't be involved. Like, this has nothing to do with him. He was just doing his job, such that it was. It's really, yeah, it doesn't impress me much. Exactly. It's really, so, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I just wanted to take a moment to say, you can't just go like waxing poetically about yourself to the judge. You're not signing it. You're not witnessing it. You're not being cross-examined. Like, this is ridiculous. This is something that someone who has an ego that will not fit inside of a regular sized home would do. And he did do it. He was a yes man, but he saw an opportunity. I think he wanted to be more than a yes man. I think he thought somehow with his knowledge that he could gain a position that would protect him from anything. Where did he take? Yeah, it's a good question. It's not a job interview. I know. Like, do you think explaining to the judge that you worked in the Bush administration is going to help you get your case moved out of Fulton County when that's where the crime took place? Like, I feel yet again, like, read the Constitution, dude. Like, there's a whole article on judges and stuff, you know? Like, there's stuff about that. Man made comments about enacting martial law. I know! This was the man. You're right. Here are my references. He did a Trump thing. Yes. Well, I don't know. When I looked through this, when I was going through the docket, I was like, what the heck is this? And then when I was reading through it, I thought, this is just a moment in time where we learn you don't just file stuff with the court, you know, if you're not going to back it up. Yeah, exactly. Privileged, exactly. So anyway, this is online. You can pull it up if you're interested in it. I don't want to take too much time going through it because it's wackadoodle. It's crazy. He wanted to be AG and just absolutely not qualified. And the more you look through and figure out what he's talking about in here, there's no accountability whatsoever. This is that classic situation when a defendant stands in front of the judge before sentencing and says, well, I wish things hadn't turned out this way. It's too bad. And it's unfortunate for people that got hurt. And that's really a bummer. But, I had to do what I had to do in order to make my life complete. That's what defendants do. And he's doing the same exact thing, like a classic criminal defendant move where he's like, I had, my reasons and my reasons were great. Can't you see how great my reasons are? So let me not be in here anymore. So here, correct copy of a news story containing a statement by U.S. Congressman and retired U.S. Army National Guard Brigadier General Scott Perry. Like, are we dropping names? Is that what we're doing? The article's written by Shapiro, and so on. Like, he's going on and on about why he didn't respond and go into the House committee and how he shouldn't be subject to the laws of Georgia. Quite frankly, I found it fascinating. And it was a lot. I'm sorry I got caught. Exactly. Is he representing himself? It seems like it. I don't think so technically, but it seems like it. Would you be willing to read this on a post or on YouTube? To read his declaration? I could. I mean, it's a lot of bologna sandwiches, but I could. Can it be entered into court record for jury review? I don't think so at this point. I don't see how it would be. I mean, it's just a court filing, and our juries don't see our court filings. Is Floyd still in prison? Nope. Yes, read Clark's declaration. I could go through that, CC. It's a special request. I could do that. It would probably be best to post it on my Tube of You channel. So yeah, I will. Let me put it in my stack here. So I'll take some pictures and I can do a quick read through that and put it on my Tube of You channel. Yeah, I don't think it would be a good place to put it on the TikTok. I don't think it would pass through the filters, but yeah. I mean, it's all BS. Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, it's a lot of BS too. So that's what that was. Now that we all know, we've got it. It's not worth much attention. Well, I can definitely put it up on my Tube of You. That won't take me but a few minutes. Meanwhile, I can't do a link tree. I don't know what that is, you guys. All right, here we go. Declaration. So that's that. And then next we have a reply in support of the removal by Clark. Again, so this is what Clark's got going on. And that takes us to the last page of what these poor clerks have been having to deal with again. So here we go. Next, we've got a notice of filing. That again was by Clark. The government's response to Cheesebro's motion to unseal. Also the government's response to Cheesebro's motion to speak with a grand jury. Now Ellis has come in. This is her first motion that she's filed. This is Miss Ellis here. So she has set out a motion to amend discovery due dates. That's been the only thing that she's added to it. That's it. Now we've got the state Supreme Court notice of hearing, motion to motion regarding the jurors. So we've still got this issue regarding the jurors involved. State Supreme Court order on the jury's exemptions, etc., which is pretty normal. Like what is it that would make it so you could get out of jury duty in this situation? Use step letters to put on time. I do. Oh, what's she so happy about? That's a great question. That's a really great question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh, hello, Taylor. Oh, all right. So, right. So then we've got the general demur, right? And the motion to dismiss count 1 by Powell. State Supreme Court order regarding the voir dire procedures. So that's pretty normal again. The general demur because of the First Amendment. So now Cheesebro is saying, I have the First Amendment rights. So none of that stuff in the indictments can be correct because of the First Amendment. So, I mean, Cheesebro's really got a lot of stuff going on. Cheesebro's like filing like nobody's business. He's like a filing machine. It's really ridiculous, in my opinion. Yeah, I know. Cheesebro's a lot. All right, so next we've got his motions to quash. Motion to quash number 15 in the indictment, number quash 13 and 19, quash 11 and 17, and motion to quash 9. So all of those came in off of Cheesebro. So he's filed a whole bunch of motions to quash. Also had the right not to get caught. Yeah, I know. So true, Deborah. Well put. So then that takes us next to another batch, which I found very interesting also, of filings from Trump then. So Trump filed a motion to adopt Powell's motion. So Powell's motion for the demur and motion to dismiss, so he's wanting to adopt that. Trump's wanting to adopt Cheesebro's motion to quash 13 and 19. Trump's wanting to adopt Cheesebro's motion to quash 15. Trump's adopting count 19. Trump's adopting 11 and 17. So all of the motions Cheesebro filed, Trump is wanting to adopt all of them and have them applied to him also. As a prosecutor, what do you think with the declaration? I don't know. I think it's clear that he doesn't have any trial experience, I guess, is what I would say. That's what I would say about that. Who do you think will first flip? I don't know. Giuliani is in such a mess. He's in such a mess. His admissions that he's made in the defamation case against Miss Ruby in Ruby, sorry, it's getting late, in New York, those admissions are a problem. Those are going to be a big problem for him. Big problem. Yeah, it's a problem. Cheesebro's a lawyer. Yeah, he should, because he's really, filing on a budget. It's discount filing. That's so funny. Oh, yeah, I saw that about Lynn Wood. Lynn Wood's got a lot. Lynn Wood's got the background. Yep, got the information for sure. It's going to be a lot. I think that's a good way of saying it. They thought they'd get fame and fortune. Yeah, they did. And, that's not happening. So, too bad for them. Yikes. Let me just double check up here. Is a motion to adopt proper? Does it exist under criminal procedure? Sure. I think you can file anything you want. I think they're filing a whole bunch of interesting things under different names. So, I think at this point, if you're looking at the Georgia judge, you're like, whatever you want to call it. So if a motion to adopt isn't correct, maybe it's a motion to add or something like that. They're like, yeah, put whatever word in you want. But I think everybody is just adding in whatever words they want. Like 3 of the same kinds of motions, like the demur and the motion to quash, like, that's like the same thing. What do you, like pick a motion, people, but everybody's got different styles of doing it. So I think that's part of the problem as well. Justice prevails. All right. So now we've got the DC court order. Schaefer still Latham. They needed to sign their waivers when it came to the speedy. We've got a brief from the Court of Appeals from Meadows. That was next. How many times are these people drag this? Yeah, it's extensive. It's a lot. Supreme Court order on the grand jury, interviews and transcripts, motion to exclude legal memo, etc. So Cheesebro filed this motion saying he didn't want any legal memos or any kind of amicus or amicus briefs, any of that stuff. He didn't want any of that stuff to be allowed in, which I thought was an interesting motion. Like, who's heard of that before? Government motion regarding conflicts of interest. And then we've got a response to the conflict of interest by Cheesebro and a motion to suppress by Cheesebro. So that takes us to the final pieces of what's been filed in Georgia. And it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. Cheesebro, I think, would definitely take the lead in filing as many things as possible, just throwing everything at the wall. And then Clark is in there too saying, hey, I'm going to throw everything also, but like, I don't mean it. Never mind. It's getting juicy. Yeah, it's a lot. Do they think they can overwhelm the system? I feel like they're trying to. And what's interesting is the system was overwhelmed before this indictment was even filed, It is spaghetti. Suze, this is total spaghetti land. It is. It's awful. And you just see these attorneys filing these motions, and then the poor government's in here like, dude, we got 5,000 cases and this is just one. We got stuff to do. What about the wild blonde lady, Juliana? Yeah. Yeah. So, she's out of Michigan. I think she actually got charged in Michigan. I love how the judge decides most on the bench and disappoints the defense. I know, Lisa, exactly. The judge is like, I don't have time for this. Even listening to some of the attorneys arguing in the hearing, he's like, nope, we don't got time for that. Let's move on. Keep moving on. We gotta keep this train going. The judge will keep it quick. Exactly. You got it. So, if he gets convicted, he gets convicted. But, either way, we got to go through the process. Looks like a legal grocery list. It does. It really does. Like, how many different motions can we file? For sure. Will they ever get a file a trial date for the other 17? Yes. And I think that's going to be coming pretty soon. I have a feeling it's going to be coming out pretty soon. The judge wants to get it. I have no doubt. My only question is whether or not he's going to split any more of the defendants. If he decides to split another batch of defendants, he may be deciding on that before he sets his trial date. Documents should go in with the brief anyway. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Does it cost the defendant money every time there's something to file? No. No, I mean, they have to serve copies to everybody. So if there's some kind of fee regarding that, that's possible, but that's about it. He's trying to stress out the prosecutor. Absolutely. I mean, but yet you can also see though, too, how the prosecutor's like, I don't got time for this. And she's like, whatever, if I have to, I have to. And had multiple courts say, hey, can you file your stuff? Is their right to file? No, you're right. You're absolutely right, Larry. It is their right to file. I'm not saying it's not their right. I'm just saying it's ridiculous. I think it can be their right and also be ridiculous. I don't think those two are mutually exclusive. I think both of those. Is Georgia paying for this? Well, I mean, they're paying for their judges and their staff and their people just the same that they would pay them anyway. So I don't think they're paying any extra. Kid needed help with math. Oh, I'm so glad you could help them with math. That's a skill set. Do these motions require a response from the production? Well, almost all of the motions, I would say every motion, I'm comfortable saying that, every motion would need a response in some manner. Prosecutor knows this game. We can see what they're trying to do. Well, yeah, I mean, the prosecutor's just doing their best to stay ahead of it. But again, they've got 5,000 cases going. This isn't their only rodeo that they're involved in, delaying the inevitable. Yeah, and pushing it as far as possible and trying to, I think this case, though, was bound to be messy from the start, this case in Georgia. We had so many defendants. We had, over 160 acts to look at in the RICO charge. I mean, it was going to be a mess, but, that's just how the process kind of works. I think it's interesting to kind of show at least how the process works to other people, to kind of figure out like, hey, I didn't realize this process was such a mess. So that can definitely be a part of it. Hold on here. Let me see if I can help with the lag a little bit. Whew. There we go. Okay. How's the lag? Is the lag better now? Here we go. Let's see. You may have to go out and then come back on again. To see here. Better. Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know. It's hard to be able to tell from my end, so not lagging. Okay, good to know. All right, so yeah, I think if you go out and then come back in again. Yeah, don't forget to hydrate. Oh, I will hydrate. Thank you actually for the reminder. I forgot. We don't want to forget to hydrate. Whew. Okay, so that's the calendar update. Are their defendants allowed to communicate with each other? Well, I think they had stipulated in all of their bail consent orders that they wouldn't talk to each other. I think that was part of their bail agreements. So I don't think they're supposed to. I think Trump has a sister who was a judge. Yeah, but I think too, he's just been involved in the system for so long that he's fully aware of how all of that business works. So absolutely awesome. Oh, thank you, lady. I appreciate that. I don't know about that, but I do kind of try to come on with my color coding system and help if I can. You know, I've noticed that too, Donna. It has been a little bit laggy. I've noticed that on some of the different ones. Got to fight for your right to hydrate. I do. It's true. It's important. Stay hydrated, everybody. Who's seeing it? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Throwing fundraisers for Rudy. Yeah, you know, there's a lot. And I had seen that he was in, someone had mentioned earlier that he was actually campaigning in Iowa yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Like, he's going all the way to Iowa and then all the way back to DC and then down to Florida. Like, what's going on? My goodness. It's so helpful. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. Can you imagine Trump not talking? That will never happen. He can't help himself. Yeah, it's a lot. She had to leave the bench because of something really interesting. He's been involved in he's been involved in a lot. And, you know, it catches up to you. We're slow, but it catches up. When do you think Judge Chutkan will rule on the gag order? Well, the big issue, of course, is that we've got, if we take a look here at our calendar, the 25th is when the defendant's opposition is due. So that's the 25th. And then the government's response or reply to the opposition is due. So it will be after the 30th would be my guess. Like she's going to have to take it into consideration and read everybody's stuff and then make her order. It wouldn't be much longer after that, but it's going to still be a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit. They're not rushing it through. She had set out her timeline here on what she thought was an appropriate time for a response. And so who's the government? Yeah, it depends on the case. I mean, sometimes it's the state of Georgia. Sometimes it's the District of Columbia. Sometimes it's Florida. So Rudy can travel and not pay lawyers. Rudy's in a mess. Rudy's in such a mess. My goodness, he is just in a mess. And with some of this new information coming out, I mean, there's just, he's crashing and burning quick. It's a lot. Requesting DC judge to recuse herself. Do you know if he succeeded? No, he's not succeeded at this point. You know, the government's responded back on that, and he's filed motions to recuse for all the judges except for Florida. So far all the judges have denied it. So I don't see anything separate or different or even more so for the DC judge. In fact, I would say the New York judge, Letitia James, was probably, if he was to have a shot, would have been his only shot, but he lost that. So I don't think he's got much of a shot with Judge Chutkan in DC. I just don't. It could happen, but you know, my thought is I don't think it will. I know. Oh, I know. Crazy. I know. Suze, gosh, Ruby, he's in a mess. He's really in a bad situation. Under the influence, can that be used? It can. It can be used if they knew he was under the influence, and so what he was saying, they would know would not be credible information, not reliable information. He can also use it to say he didn't really have the intent, depending on the situations to some degree. So it can mitigate intent or reduce intent levels, not completely do away with it, but it's never been a a successful, complete defense for anything. But it's a lot. It's another factor in the entire situation. What's going on with Giuliani? Well, I mean, there was a story that came out on a book, a passage in a book regarding his treatment, his actions towards another professional woman on the day of January 6th. So I don't know if it's happened or not, but just the fact that it's been asked about, and he's got a lawsuit against him already, kind of with those kinds of questions involved in it. So it's ugly. It's some ugly business. What they've gone for one man. Yeah. And it really shows you, like, you know, if you're, at what point do you pull yourself out of a relationship like that? I mean, you have to think, like, what kind of a relationship were they in where they are willing to kind of go as far as they went? And, you know, it's like, yikes, that's bad. It's bad. I believe her. Oh, I do too. I believe her, absolutely. I wonder what Trump's sister, who's older, judge thinks. Yeah, I don't know. Did you see the video testimony about the laptop ordeal? I haven't seen it. I'll have to take a look and see what's going on with that. But no, I've not reviewed that. You know, it's hard to stay on top of all of this stuff. There's so much going on. Whoo! Oh, the Borat movie. I know. Oh, that was so bad. Blush money. Dun, dun, dun. That's funny. That's so funny. I love it. Yeah, they keep doubling down. Exactly. And, you know, I mean, eventually you can't double down anymore. And that's it. So, I mean, it's a lot. It's going to be a lot. When will election ballots have serial numbers? And gerrymandering reform is necessary. Well, gerrymandering is such a huge issue. It's a huge issue. And there are numbers for our election ballots. I mean, there are some things already put into place for sure. Golden melon peachy color. Yeah. It was just I'm not sure what it's called. After party. It's called after party. Because, you know, I'm all about the party here. So it's after party. That's appropriate, but yes. Oh, yes. YSL lipsticks. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Yeah, I don't know. Liars can't say they lied. They only can double down. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Possession of laptop. Really? The FBI was looking for, really? Is that an elephant logo? It is an elephant logo. It is. And I'm okay with that. I'm not going to have, I'm not anti-elephant. I'm pro-elephant. I like elephants. What does the blue color? I'm not sure. This ring really changes colors a lot. It changes a lot of different colors when I'm talking in here. Oh, yeah, it was. I agree. There's been so many changes, so many problems. It's, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out at some point. Not a Trump Republican. You know, there's all different, you know, as I've said before, I think an extreme ideology in any area can be very harmful. And it's the extremism that's harmful. So that's really the key to it. Who flips first and starts singing? I think we'll start seeing pretty soon. We'll start seeing what will be going on pretty soon, for sure. Keep the patriarchy in control. Yeah. I think there is something very, very seductive about having thousands and thousands of people yelling your name and telling you you're the most amazing person ever. And I think anyone who performs can tell you that after a concert, it takes a while to come back down and you just want to see it again. You want to do it again. And I think there's an element to that is something for him to, take into consideration. I don't think he's realizing that about himself. Yes, Deborah, thank you for coming by tonight. Good to see you, as always. Wonderful to see you. Yes, yeah, but I think it's that level of extremism. All these people see Trump go to jail and finally realize they've been duped. I think they'll be devastated. I think we'll have some devastation issues. Isn't quid pro quo how our justice system works? To some degree, but those are the rare exceptions. Those are supposed to be the rare exceptions and have been in the past. They're not supposed to be the norm. So, it's a bit of a problem for sure. Game of Music. Yeah, it is. The love of the audience. Oh, I think exactly. I think that's exactly it. Have to go now. Good night. Yes. Well, thanks for coming. It's great to see you. I'm glad you could come. As a non-American, even your more central left, right seems extremist by comparison. It does. It does. We've got some issues going on. We definitely have some things we need to take care of for sure. We're not the only ones, but we certainly, need to kind of own where our troubles are in order to fix them. Narcissism. Yeah. I think a lot of us are figuring out what that is. If we didn't already. None of these people saw any of this coming. He's been screaming. Yes. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'll be the first to say my initial thought was, the only thing I knew about Trump at all before any of this happened was that he had declared bankruptcy. That's all I knew. I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't he bankrupt? Why is he doing business? Like, I didn't really realize I wasn't paying attention. So, yeah, the court of Georgia, is it somehow humane? Is there a difference in the states? There's a lot of differences between our states, and Georgia is not in good shape. It's not in good shape at all when it comes to the legal system. Treat politics like sports. I think that's accurate. To some degree, although we have much more faith in our sports. But yeah, it's a problem. It's okay to be wrong and make mistakes. What matters is you change what's wrong. Absolutely. Can a president pardon people who are in a state? No. Only the governor or state board, depending on how things are set up in your state, are allowed to pardon. So it's all about the law. If you're convicted of a federal law, it's possible for the president to pardon you. If you're convicted of a state law, then you've got your governor or your highest person to pardon. That's how that works. Life was way better under Trump than it is under the current administration. Well, some people feel that way, and I think that's okay. I think it depends on, what it was that made your life comfortable, and that's fine. But I think we also have to look at where the country was at that time too, because we're in a pretty different place than we were. But, again, I think a lot of people who voted in 2016 felt, this was it. This was the chance to make the change. And, but I don't think that the 2016 Trump was the 2020 Trump. I don't think it's the same candidate anymore. What about the New York Federal Court? Yeah, so we've got the New York Federal Court is packed, but there's more resources there. They've got so much more money in New York than they do in Georgia. Old enough to remember his appalling behavior in the 80s. Oh, I know, right? I mean, that's all I thought of. I hadn't really kept up on what he was doing in his world, so... almost misses... Oh, well, Frank, yeah, it's all right. We're still here. We're hanging out, for sure. We're hanging out. Yeah, I think, it's okay that some people felt comfortable and some people didn't. I think that's a fair assessment. But again, it's all about how you look at it, how you look at what was going on and who was really in control and what was really making life the way that you thought it was being made is all. So, yeah, I mean, I think... Again, my point would be the 2016 Trump is not, the 2024 Trump. We're different. Got a bonus time at lunch. Yeah, we had a bonus one today. So the executive orders to ban drilling didn't affect the gas prices. Well, a lot of those executive orders were reversed immediately. So, but some of them weren't. There's a lot going on, but you can't say one issue like gas. One issue isn't what's going to make or break a person's entire life. That would not be something that would convince me that, it was the gas prices. That was it. If the gas prices had been better, my whole world would have come together. Like, no, it's usually a combination of several things. So, yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on, and I think it probably played a role, I'm sure, and that's fine too. But there's a lot of things No, he cannot pardon himself as president. Nope, he can't. Yeah. Yep. The war in Ukraine. Yes. The war in Ukraine's had a huge impact on what's going on. I don't think the government is corrupt. I think we have some bad eggs. I think we've got some bad apples, not eggs. I think there are some people doing things that their constituents don't realize are so damaging. And I think until their voters that put them into office realize the damage they're doing to themselves, it's not going to change. I don't think it's a corrupt system. I think it's just, we got to keep them in check. And if we're not staying on top of keeping people in check, then things get out of hand. Yeah, devil eggs. No, not devil eggs. No. Corporate greed, COVID, lots has happened. You're right. You've already forgot about COVID. Yeah, and COVID was huge. That was a huge situation. It was a huge situation, and one we're recovering from. Checks and balances, right. And, I think we get burned out. I think voters get burned out. And so we're like, fine, just forget it. We're not going to do anything about it. So rather than standing up and writing letters and making it known and, going forward and saying, hey, you need to check yourself. We're just like, I'm exhausted. I'm going to just, not do that. And so that can happen quite a bit. So that definitely can be an issue. Is it possible the government shut down, delayed Trump's federal? No. Our judicial system is seen as an essential piece. So we have, the essential services will keep going even if there's a shutdown in the courts. We've got to keep going. We've got speedy dates. We've got all kinds of different deadline requirements that are so important that, we got to stay on target. So we wouldn't have that. We may have some people laid off, so they may have to work on even more of a skeleton crew, I guess, is what I would say. But no, we'll keep going. Yeah, the military will also. Yep, absolutely. But, when will they get paid? So that's a really good question. There are less clouds in the sky. Oh, but we need the clouds in the sky sometimes, right? Yes. Yeah, there's a lot going on with the Ukraine situation for sure. That really escalated quickly. Do you think he's hoping for? I don't know at this point. I think at this point, honestly, in my opinion, I think he is probably having some trauma. Like he's probably not sure what's happening at this point. And just looking at this schedule, at this calendar, if he's talking to all of these different attorneys and trying to keep all of this straight, like, this is a lot. It's a lot for any person, much less an elderly person who's like, not necessarily at the top of his game. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude about it, but I'm just saying, like, you put this kind of stress on a human in that state and things are going to start to be a bit of a struggle. In the ankle monitor, do you have to wait until you're sentenced? Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Your local rules are what govern that. It's different for every jurisdiction. Yeah, the churches, there's always that. Inefficiencies. Yeah. Oh, sorry. 1 minute, everybody. Please pause. Please include music. Let me put this on. 1 second. I need to check something. I'll be right back, everybody. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I'm back. Bring on the hats. Popcorn done. Yes, the hats and the popcorn are done. All right, I'm gonna move this. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh dear. Hold on. Sorry, I need to pause you for 1 more second. So forgive me. I've been getting some text messages and I don't want to turn it off just in case of emergencies, but I'm not sure all of you would be interested in my personal text coming in. So there we go. Anyway, sorry about that. All right, so we're going to take this away and we're going to go back to the calendar here. I will probably need to. Are you a real lawyer? Yes, such that I am. I am an actual attorney. It's true. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. How come Trump's picture looks photoshopped? It's a good question. A lot of people have been asking that. A lot of people have. So that's a good question. He does look photoshopped, doesn't he? A little bit. Let me see here. I don't know. Does he look photoshopped? Maybe he's like zoomed in a little bit more. I can't. The touch up is on. Does he have a filter on? Is it filtered? It could be. It could be a filter. It's possible. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it could be for sure. Looks like Uncle Sam. Yeah, he's taller than others. His contouring. It could be my printer. It could absolutely be my printer. He looks angry. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, he doesn't have a lot of pep in his step in this particular picture, but what are you gonna do? Everybody else has a shadow, but he doesn't have a shadow. That's a good point. It's a good point. Insanity. Oh my gosh, the Kubrick stare. Oh my gosh, genius. Because he's taller? I don't know. Yeah, Ray isn't shadowed. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's filtered. Yeah, I know. It is very interesting. Shining like no one's ever shined before. So funny. He's not against the wall. Yeah, that could be part of it too. Low quality camera. Yeah, they probably don't have the best of the best. The bestest of all of the cameras. It is kind of, duck fluffy. He doesn't have those cheekbones. I never noticed that. I never even paid attention to that. Belongs in Dade County. It does. Yes. Yes. It looks like he's wearing makeup. I think he's always wearing makeup, I think, for sure. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a man wearing makeup if that's what he wants to do. Yeah, it quacked me up. Oh yeah. It's interesting. I think it's definitely very interesting here. Must have brought. Yeah, maybe they had extra lights. He never blends. I think you're right. I think it's a blending issue. I think the techniques, man. There's YouTube tutorials on that stuff. Blend it. He doesn't. He doesn't. Brock's number 5. Ah. Does he watch my live? Oh my gosh, no way. No. I'm just a little tiny corner of the internet here. Little teeny tiny corner, and I'm happy that way. For sure. Oh my goodness. Every color matches for him needs to get their eyes checked. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he uses like the Marc Jacobs bronzer from back in the day that like wasn't quite the right color, I'm just for anybody. I mean, not just him, but no offense to Marc Jacobs, who doesn't do that anymore, but I'm like, seriously? Is that what he uses? Are you kidding me? No way. No. He needs a neutralizer. Well, it was that huge pan. You just put your brush in it. It was like all over your face. So you're good to go. Oh, yeah. That was a tough one. You had to really rein in your brush on that. It was the right shade in July of 1983. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh, who took the photo at that angle? I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, there's a lot going on in this picture, so it's hard to tell exactly. But there's really a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. No, the elephant came out. We knew it. We knew the elephant would come out. Wet n Wild foundation. Well, I mean, if you properly blend it, I mean, come on. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. Tints his moisturizer with Cheeto dust. I'm like, that seems like a waste of Cheeto dust, okay? I said it. I said it. Like that Cheeto dust is tasty. Put that on some toast. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. I do wonder what foundation. I think honestly, I think it's all bronzer. I think it's all bronzer. I think it's a giant brush and some bronzer. I think that's what's going on. That's in my opinion, but I don't have any hard evidence to support that. But that's what I think has happened. There's enough Cheeto dust in the world. Is it self tanner? I don't know. I mean, it seems like that would be a lot of work to do self tanner. Yeah, their new stuff is surprisingly good. I agree. I agree. I'm definitely late. Although they're bronzers, anybody can abuse a bronzer. All right, that's the thing. You gotta be careful. It's your friend. You're not supposed to bake with it. It's just for highlighting. It's just supposed to be a little extra warmth. It's not supposed to coat your whole face. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it's a bronzer. That's my guess. I mean, I'm not a professional artiste in the makeup department, but I think it's it's a lot of bronzer. It's a lot. It's a lot of VC. What? Oh my gosh, you all are hilarious. It is a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, the elephant every time night. Yes, it's always good for a chuckle or two. You got to have that. Have you abused a bronzer by chance? I have. And sometimes you have to acknowledge when you make mistakes. I definitely have had some problems from 1996. Yes, right, of course. You can overdo the bronzer. I'm just saying, you can get a little too excited about the bronzer. You're like, wow, this looks good. More would look better. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. More is not always better. Sometimes it's just more, and it can be a lot. There's another hat. Oh, the eyebrow pencil. True story. Yeah, true story. The eyebrow pencil. I am not an eyebrow pencil person. I wish I could be, but I just cross my fingers and hope that when I wake up in the morning I will be okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, I love the little orange guy too that comes on and visits sometimes. He's pretty funny too. He does. He does. It's CVS bronzer. Is CVS bronzer bad? Is that I'm gonna have nightmares about that one, but I love it. I love it. Who still has eyebrows? Suze. Seriously? Blue steel, yes. Oh, Chelsea, yes. We love that. Oh, more beer. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was tough. Who knew that your eyebrows wouldn't quite grow back right? Yeah, that was unfortunate. That was something that they should have taught us in school, but they didn't. And I feel cheated, quite frankly, cheated. It was unfortunate. It was an unfortunate Cheeto highlighter. I don't know. Well, at some point, seriously, I'm going to have to get my Cheeto nails on. I'll have to get those going. They almost match. I feel like they almost match. Not quite, but kind of close. We'll see what happens. I've plugged too many of my. Haven't we all though? I mean, come on, right? Oh, here are the nails. Got the nails. Are they edible? No, they're not. Unfortunately, they're not. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. I overplucked. Yeah, well, we all did. I mean, we had to, right? That was what the goal was. We were all about there's another. Oh, you'll wear them to the office. Well, as long as I don't have court, I'm okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got to make sure I don't have anything that required people to see my nails. I have to be careful about that. Oh my goodness. All hat, no cattle. Oh, yes, yes. I love that. I love that. Yes, we'll have to pick the proper night to do that for sure. Once for prom. Really? Oh, no. Well, that's a bummer. Yeah, they just don't tell you these things, that vital, crucial information we should all know. I agree. It's tough. It's tough. Yes, Cheeto eye palettes. I don't think I could pull off that color. I really don't. I really don't think I could. Like I want to, but I can't. I love it here. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, sometimes you got to have a little moment of levity. It's the type of bronzer you use for. Really interesting. That's interesting. I want to know why some. Yeah, I think it's a good question. And we've got some really big smiles in here too. Like, I think Ellis is the biggest, but Cuddy's is definitely short. I mean, she's got running for her money here because we've got two big smiles, but yeah, this guy, Schaefer's got a pretty big smile going on too. He seems pretty happy. I'm not sure what's going on in their mind. No, they don't mind. Polish and cord is fine. It's just as long as you're neat, as long as you're tidy, it's okay. But if it's super flashy, it's not really about the judge. It's more about, the appearance. You want to kind of have that professional appearance. But you don't have to. It's not like someone would say, go take your nail polish off. They wouldn't do that, but you still got to kind of be, you got to know what's going on. So D or die. It's whichever you would like. Oh, I think it's fun that way to have it that way. I will tell you, it is D. It is D. But I'll answer to die as well. I thought it's fun though to kind of have people pick whichever one they like the best, but it is D. Yep, yep. That's that's my name. Why are they smiling? I don't know. I really don't. I'm not sure. I'm wondering if they're D if Italian. Yes. Oh, yes, yes. Inner peace should. Yes, I agree. I agree. Oh, I'm so thankful. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I think it's important to, get your best face forward when you're about to get a mug shot taken. Yes, Cuddy. Yeah, she's a lot. She's in it to win it. She's not playing here. She's got goals. She's got plans. That was your mama's name. Oh, I love that. Love that, Lisa. That's so sweet. Yes. Well, and I have an aunt named Dixie, so we've got a lot of D names in our family, for sure. I know, I know. I think I'm not sure exactly. I wonder if they're Oh, you got your crumble cookies. Oh, yes, yes. Well, last week was the best, but this week's pretty good too. I think they definitely are shocked. Like this guy, I think he realizes something may have not gone according to plan. So I think he's got some kind of an idea that this may not work out well for him. So, but I'm not sure about the rest. The Smilers are possible flippers. It could be. It could be. They were thinking about flipping even while they were getting their picture taken. They're like, who do I get to talk to first? The guy in the Carol Burnett show. Yeah, Carol Burnett. Oh my gosh. He does. He does. I agree. Do we run Clark off? Or did we find I don't know. He may have just left. Sometimes you just have to have a moment. Speaking of brows, I know, I know. I don't know. I'm just. You think Ellis will flip? You think she will? I think she was already pretty upset about things before she even went in. So, I have to dress up tomorrow for graduation. Oh, good for you. Oh, the makeup talk is great. Okay, Ava, listen. Careful with the bronzer. Okay, careful. Careful with the bronzer. If you learn nothing, if none of us learned anything, please take away. Be careful with the bronzer. That's the one tip you can take away. You can take that tip to the bank for sure. Nobody needs that much bronzer. It's not good for you. You think Ellis will flip? Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, this whole situation is pretty frustrating for her. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. So I wouldn't be too surprised if she flipped. I really wouldn't at this point. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. Oh my gosh. Bronzer's like perfume. Easy does it. Excellent. Yes, I agree. I agree. Well said. Well said. Closer gets more and more fun. Yeah, I think, but you got to pace yourself. I mean, you don't want to flip too soon because you want to look tough, but you also need to flip soon enough you can still get a good deal. So I think, you really got to figure out timing wise is important. Seen your photos? This one up here, she kind of does. She kind of does. It's a bit, yeah, I get that. I'm getting that vibe from there for sure. I wonder if he wears cologne. If he does, it gets in the room before he does. I think we know the type. We know the type. She was part of the press conference when she was going out and trying to talk to different legislatures about saying that there was some bad things going on. So I think she was part of that. Yeah, she does. She does. I really I hope she looks out for herself. I hope she takes care of what she needs to take care of for herself. There's really no use in going down with the ship if there's nothing left. Oh, aloha. Hello. Good to see you. Really? Her parents went to Slovenia. Yeah, I'd heard that rumor, but I wasn't sure. You're welcome, Lisa. You're welcome. Absolutely. Sound legal advice. Well, not technically legal advice, but yeah, yeah, you got to really figure out what's best for you. Sometimes you got to cut your losses in order to survive it. So he's a heavy sprayer. I think so. I was leaving a sinking ship. Yes, Tiffany, I'm so glad you're able to get off of your ship. You got to get off the ship, man. Whew, he wears Old Spice. You think so? It could be. I'm sure Trump will help any and all who get convicted. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, he doesn't have to. He's not legally obligated to. So he doesn't have to. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. That's his choice, and life's about choices, I think he's made his choices, things, and that's okay. I think it's called Empire. Powell had been quite successful before. True, but I think a lot of Powell's true colors have come out, and those colors are a little scary, quite frankly. I've seen some of the interviews that she's done. I'm still trying to find a piece that I can use to post on TikTok, but none seem appropriate. So I'm struggling. Have another fundraiser. Oh, I know, right? I know. Oh, it's such a mess. Now, there were a few people here that I noticed had not filed anything. So I hope that they're okay. I hope their attorneys have been working with them. I believe in due process. You always convict your clients. No. Oh, he's gone. No. Oh. No, due process is important. Due process is very important. Yes, many will flip. I agree. Yes. Maybe they have public defenders. I don't know. But I'm looking at these two right here. These three, and Roman actually played a pretty significant role. He had some pieces, but these two in particular, neither one of these have filed anything that I have seen. Oh, good evening. Hello, sister girl. Good to see you. We're having a little fun. This isn't a conviction. Absolutely. You are right. You're right. Linwood thoughts. I think it's good for Linwood. I think it's definitely good for Linwood. Now, Matt, let's not be rude. No need for the rudeness. Does not filing mean they may be trying to strike a deal? It does. Or else their attorneys are busy doing other stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully they're just taking their time. He has a Trump brand cologne called Empire. I don't doubt it. It seems on brand. It definitely seems on brand. He means business. He means something. Is there a way to see if he's... Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if that is available to the public or not. That's a good question. But you know, a lot of that information is about to come out in that trial in New York. A lot of information. Once that goes into court, I mean, we're what, less a week and a half out? Whew, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of information coming at us. We will be taking a lot of information in regarding his finances. So, yikes. Would you do a podcast? I would. I could do that. I don't have it set up to do that, but I could. That reminds me, I had been talking with someone about doing a podcast. I should probably get back to them about that. But yeah, I would do that for sure. Where's Ivanka and Jared? Great question. Great question. Sometimes gets missed and the penalties are, they're high. Yeah, there's a lot. Do you believe the talk that he's scared to go to jail? I think everybody is scared to go to jail. I think everybody, any person who is facing the possibility of jail is afraid. I think that's just how it is. Perry Mason pick in the subscription. We should. Oh my gosh, that'd be great. I gotta do that. But I would definitely anybody. I mean, it doesn't matter how strong you are. I've seen some of the toughest people in the entire world absolutely break down at the idea of having to go to jail, to prison. Absolutely. Yeah. Michael Cohen. Exactly. Trump allowed Jimmy Fallon to pull his, yeah. And I think Jimmy Fallon got a lot of flack for that too, actually. Terrified of jail. That's why I don't do crime. I know, right? I mean, it's definitely a deterrent. He's definitely scared of, yeah, I think so. Who do you think was the mole that turned in the Mar-a-Lago boxes? I don't know if I can narrow it down to just one, I guess, is what I'm saying, especially in Georgia. Oh, yeah, Georgia. Whew. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going on in Georgia. It's a lot. Yeah, Georgia is definitely not a place you're going to want to go. Do you think Trump will start? No. I think the time for that has passed. I think if it would have happened, it would have already happened by now, and it didn't. So no, I think that's kind of off the table right now. I just don't see that in our future at all. I think we have problems and we need to fix it, but I think our fundamental beliefs are still in play, and that's the difference. We might argue back and forth on whether or not a particular law is okay and if it's not okay, but we just don't have the kind of issues that we had that brought us to the first Civil War. We just don't have those. We have a lot of issues, but oh, you're welcome, Randy. I'm glad you could come by. Freaking out. Yes. Oh my gosh, Stone. Yikes. That's a lot. Prison conditions reforms. Maybe there's a silver lining, right? Maybe they could be like, hey, this sucks. Let's make it better for everybody, not just us people. Yeah. Has Ellis filed any motions? She filed a motion for continuance for discovery. So that's the only thing that she's filed at this point. He's not suspending 1 minute in jail, even if convicted. Well, maybe not. Maybe he won't. We'll see. That's way down the road. I mean, we can't predict any of that at this point. We don't have enough evidence or information. So, do you know if he's accepting his past presidential pension? I don't know. That's a good question, but I would assume yes. I would assume he would be accepting anything that he could. But that's a really good point. It is quite a bit, isn't it? Smiling in her mugshot. I know. I'm not sure what else though you would do. I really don't know if I would smile or not. Whatever I would do, it would just be awful. I mean, I had my passport photos taken the other day and I was like, what's happening? Is this even me? Was somebody else standing here? What? I couldn't even recognize. It's all about the quality of the camera. Yes, everyone for money. Yeah, he does. We even know for sure that he didn't keep his salary while serving. There were definitely some questions. I think he got called out on it for a couple of years and so did a few things, but no one told Ellis, yeah, she didn't get the memo. She didn't get that memo. She got the other memos, but she didn't get the no smiling memo. I don't know what the deputies are saying. That's a good question. I think that's a really good question. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think it can be used against you legally. But it's not necessarily a positive thing. He never tried to Okay. All right. No evidence. Okay. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of things going on. So, it can be the RICO, it can be the call to the Secretary of State, it could be the DC, it could be the documents, you can just pick your place. There's just a lot going on. So yeah, there's a lot of evidence. I don't know if I've ever seen this much evidence. It's like you're going to get tired of seeing evidence. There's so much evidence. Based on the conflict of interest. I've not read that petition yet. I've seen that it was filed, but I've not read it. So I need to take a look at that. I've not gone into the details of it. Have you read it already? Is it pretty persuasive? Yeah, I haven't looked into it yet. Here, let me move this off of his face. There we go. Although I don't know, let's move it to the calendar. Sometimes it's weird to have him staring at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, here we go. Here's the calendar. Evidence and evidence like no one has ever seen before. It's a lot. It's a lot of evidence. Is it guilty beyond reasonable doubt? I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying there's a lot of evidence. The Navarro nonsense. I haven't decided yet either on that one. I'm kind of keeping my thoughts to myself until I have all of the information. So at this point, I'll reserve judgment. How's that? How's that for a non-answer? Yes. Well, I mean, I don't believe anything. I only believe what I read from the court documents. It's the best evidence. It's all the best evidence. Infinity and beyond evidence. It really is. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at what's filed in the court. So that's it. Yes. So today, the only thing that was filed in Georgia was a motion to suppress by Cheesebro. So he did his motion to suppress. That was it. Pick your poison. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, choose your jurisdiction, choose your evidence. There's plenty to pick from. Just pick whichever you want. Oh my goodness. Yes. Good night. Good night. Oh, yes. I'm going to have to probably sign off here pretty soon myself, actually, as I'm looking at the clock. I'm trying to keep my lives just a little bit shorter because I'm doing so many of them. But yeah, I would definitely say, yeah, I mean, we did public opinions. I guess I think, I don't know. At this point, that's my only answer. I don't know. Do you have anything new to read yet? Well, tonight we were just going through the calendar. So the audio in itself. Yeah, the audio really speaks for itself. Literally, it speaks for itself because it's audio. But if you listen to it, it takes you pretty much down the road that you need to go down. So it looks like Georgia, I mean, we're only a few weeks out from the Speedy case. Pint of Ben and Jerry's. Should have done the popcorn. No judgment here. Either way, both good. Listen to the man speak in the interviews. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. If nothing was done, nothing would have been said. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it too. Absolutely. Absolutely true. Excellent point. Yep. I have to roll. Yes. Well, thanks, Tiffany. I should probably go ahead and sign off too, actually, everybody. My phone's starting to burn up and so am I. So I'm going to have to let you go. But I will be back, everybody. I'm not sure I'll be back Friday, but I will be back over this weekend. I'm thinking Saturday will probably work out best for me. So I'll probably pop back in on Saturday to talk a little bit more. I've got a few more things I wanted to kind of go over with everybody. So Probably. Oh, thanks, Frank. That's so sweet. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. Happy to come on and chat with everyone. So probably just keep an eye out for me on Saturday. I will try to pop back on again just for a little bit and go through a few more things. But I will get the post up about the calendar as quick as I can. So I'll have that posted pretty soon. But it was really, really great to see everybody, of course. So I hope you all have a fabulous night. Thank you so much. You're the best. Thank you. Oh, yes, the moderators, of course. Yes, have a fabulous night, everybody. Yeah, I've got a few things I've got to do tomorrow. So tomorrow will be tight for me, but Saturday should be all right. Hopefully. Yeah, you have a great night too, everybody. Yes. Oh, good to see everybody. Have a fabulous night. I will put up a post of the calendar pretty soon. So, and take care, everybody. Always a pleasure. Good night.